Hey, what's up guys? It's Nathan here, and today I wanted to show you a way to kind of control the sub of your kick by using a sub layer. Now you've probably, seen tutorials about this. I wanted to show you one that was contextualized with relation to a track I was working on. So what I want to show you is the track with the original kick that I had, which I think is good as well. I made it in bassism, so we're just going to play the track so you can hear it. And it's a really punchy bumped track, so let's just kind of play it, and here we have. Now, that's a really great kick. My issue with it was that the original kick, I put decapitator on it to kind of distort it and, give it some just a little bit of character. The issue I had with that is if I wanted this sub tail that it has, is a pretty standard 808 kind of style kick. You'll notice that the decay of it is somewhat linear, typically more linear than exponential. Anyway, that's just a tangent. But the issue that I was having with it is if I wanted that kick to really sustain a lot longer, the fact that I distorted it to give it kind of more vibe and punch in the top end is gonna make it would make me uncomfortable for how it plays on systems, because typically I like to have sub frequencies be relatively clean. I like to preferably use sine waves or something very close to a sine wave. And so what I actually did was I did the same thing that I had with this kick here. I actually duplicated it down, and this is the technique I'm going to be showing you. I duplicated the original kick, and what I did was I actually shortened it, the length of it. So this is the original kick right here. It's fairly long. If we listen to the new kick, what I've done is I shortened the kick. I also did a few other things to it. Namely, I shortened it, but I also put an EQ on it to kind of high pass a little bit, because I'm going to be using a sub layer to create the sub. And so the new kick that I made sounds like this. It sounds like this. It's really cool. It gives me a sub layer that I can sustain longer and kind of have it, I can control the vibe of it. I don't really have that control in bassism. I can't really control how the sub, what pitch the sub is at. Actually, I can, but I just can't control the volume of it over time as well. Serum would give me more control over that, or basically any synth that you have. So what I did in Serum was I just pulled up a basic, a basic sine wave. I'm a big fan of adding a little bit of bend either way to the left or right. That actually adds harmonics to the sine wave, which you can see on a spectrum analyzer. If I, put it back to normal, we're going to get a pretty clean. So I bend it just a little bit, gives it some nice just color. Not too much, because I like to keep it relatively clean. You could do that with distortion, by the way, same thing. So the next thing I did was I just did a little bit of modulation on here that I wanted to go over with you guys. Because there's, for me, I actually spent like a good 5 to 10 minutes trying to figure out how to do it right in Serum for some reason. So the thing that you want to do is you want to take an envelope and just put it on the course to modulate the pitch, because it's a pitch drop kick. Typically with kicks, it sounds a little bit better if the sub layer that you're layering with your kick has a little bit of pitch modulation on it. That's not always going to be the case, but in this particular scenario, I wanted the pitch of the sub to just change a little bit. So you can actually hear it in the sub. It goes pew. And so you put that on the chorus, because if you put it on semi or octave, each time it's essentially going to step the pitch. So you're actually going to hear the pitch kind of stuttering as it moves each step. It's not going to sound smooth. It's going to sound like shit. So you could use fine, but fine isn't really going to give you as much pitch control. So use coarse. And the unfortunate thing about the coarse pitch control is that when you modulate it by amount, every number doesn't represent a semitone. It sucks, I know, but you have to do it by ear. The cool thing is once you reach the final stage of your envelope where it goes all the way into sustain or release or whatever, when it finishes that, your sub is going to be at the pitch that you've chosen here. So it's going to be at F. So you'll notice with a tune, I put a tuner on here to make sure I was doing it right. you'll notice that the pitch is higher at first and then it finishes on F, which is the pitch I want my sub at, because if you have a sustained sub like this in your track, you want to control the pitch of it. It sounds better. There it goes. It finishes at an F. And you just have a little bit of pitch modulation on there on that chorus. Again, you do this by ear. I'll show you how how I did it, just playing around with it. We'll just play the track and play with that, and you can hear how it kind of affects the track. It. I mean, it's just another way to kind of control your kick. Keep in mind that, again, if you're putting a sub layer to kind of add to a kick, it will often help to create punch by modulating the pitch of your sine wave, just to give it a little bit more, again, punch. Sometimes that won't be necessary. I'll show you what that would sound like without the modulation on there. We'll just disable it. Is there a bypass on here? There's not. Oh, well, yeah, there is over here. And then it would just sound like this. You can just hear how that kind of, it just doesn't work. And that's because, you know, when you hear a kick like this, which is punchy, the reason the kick has punch is because the pitch envelope of it is a little bit slower, just like we had right here. So we're actually causing our sublayer to follow the kind of character and shape of our upper kick. You know, again, in different kinds of music, you might have more of a sustained sub. This is just one way to do it. And if you wanted to, you know, maybe create a little bit more room for the punch of the kick to go through, you might. I wouldn't personally do it, but we could just try it, because sometimes it works. Sometimes it's something that you should do. It's very situational, but what I would do is I would sidechain that sub to the original kick, and I would see if sidechaining it provided a little bit better kind of mixing. Probably won't, but we'll just test it out and see what happens. And this will allow the punch of the kick to come through before you hear the sub kind of have dominance in the sound. Working that way, what I might do if I really wanted it to work is I would split. I would do frequency splitting, which you can do very easily in here. Just add a splitter, and I can split by frequencies and just have those lower frequencies just dip out when that kick punches in. And so we might even do it on the higher frequencies. I don't know. So we'll see. Put on the low frequencies. That's what happens over there. And then let's test that out. Personally, I don't see the benefit in sidechaining that. It just doesn't work in terms of the sound, but it's something you might find yourself doing in some situations. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more of my videos, hit that subscribe button, and you'll get notifications about my videos, and we will see you guys in the next one.